following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Senior Bowl. Go team of the Senior Bowl. Ah, yes, the go team of the Senior Bowl, stampeding into the playoffs. This is Mick Shots. Bill Jones with Mickey Spagnola, who's not inside the SWBC podcast studio. Everson Walls is inside the studio. And by the way, we had a Cowboys watching party at the house on Saturday night with my family, grandsons in there. My 3-year-old grandson, James, I introduced him to Stampede. We were on the back porch, and Mickey, and I played, on the big boombox, I played Cowboys Stampede, getting ready for the game, Mickey, and he was dancing around. So the new generation of Cowboys fans. Now, his dad didn't really like the song, but Mickey, what's going on?
So did you play the song every time they scored a touchdown?
I was voted out after the pregame stuff. Yeah, I was going to have to continue watching the game on the back patio if I continued playing Stampede. But
it was cold out there.
Yeah, it was. That's right. So here we are. It's the Monday after a Cowboys 51-26 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. The playoffs are all set. The Cowboys have the 3rd seed after an unbelievable Sunday in the league and taking on the Arizona Cardinals? No. The Los Angeles Rams?
No, sir.
Who had the San Francisco 49ers as the Cowboys' first round opponent?
No one had that. Spags, can you say that?
I was saying I didn't want the San Francisco 49ers.
That's what you were saying?
Yes.
I agree with you, Spags. I agree with you. I think that anytime that we've had bad games this year, it is typical of just how the 49ers attack you, right? Is that what you're concerned about?
Yeah, the fact that they run the football and can put pressure on the quarterback, and it did the Rams in big time yesterday.
In the second half. In the second half.
Yeah, exactly. And so hopefully the Cowboys watched the second half and figured out exactly what they were doing to Stafford. They still had trouble stopping Cooper Kupp, but that was an amazing comeback, I'll tell you that. So pretty physical on defense. So that Cowboys offensive line is going to have its work cut out for them.
Well, I tell you what, I think that the D-line will as well. You saw how they were running the ball on a very good Rams front line, but they seem to be more susceptible to rushing for some reason. And they didn't even the 49ers did not have their starting running back. I believe, is it Trent Williams for the 49ers?
A left tackle. Yeah.
No, and so, yeah. I'm sorry, I meant that tackle.
You meant the tackle.
Yeah, I think he's going to play this week.
He's a good one.
He is a good one. So we that's going to be a D-Law matchup, right?
Or Randy Gregory on the he's Trent Williams at left tackle and Randy Gregory off the right side.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
I like the way he looked on the sideline.
Trent Williams?
Yeah. I wish he'd stay on the sideline.
Keep him on the sideline.
Keep that stocking cap on.
And so it being the 49ers, it's been so long since the Cowboys have played the 49ers in the playoffs. I from a media standpoint, from a fan standpoint, not so much the strategy of the game and how the teams match up against each other, the intrigue of the matchup, I like it. from the historical standpoint, and also the fact that these teams haven't played each other this year, and so it's new.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have you're not playing Philadelphia a third time, which a lot of people thought could happen. And you're not.
Now, if we had a preference, we'd play Philadelphia again.
I think
right.
I think third time would be a charm for this team.
Actually, playing Arizona a second time would not be all that bad either.
Well, the way they talked all that trash, Spags, the Cowboys were extremely fired up, with the elation, because of the elation of the Cardinals. I mean, they were like, I can't wait to see these guys again. They were actually calling for the Cardinals again. Do you think that was real, or was that just frustration after getting your butts kicked?
Yeah, I bet it was. It was frustration. Although they were probably looking at the probability and saying, okay, chances are we're getting them again, and we ain't scared, right?
Right.
And maybe Arizona should have checked themselves, getting beat like that by Seattle.
How about them? How about them? They were on the verge of
winning the division,
getting a home game, and having what would have been the third seed, and they would have been hosting San Francisco this week rather than having to go and play at the Rams. And
then what did they do? Give up like 38 points?
38 points, 190 yards rushing to Rashad Penny. And also look at the Cardinals, where they have been the last half of this season, with the exception of that win over the Cowboys a week ago. The last 8 games were crap. They're 4-6 the last 10 games.
Last 10 games.
Yeah. So there you go.
So is it the Cowboys, or do these teams just play their best game against them? How many times has this happened?
I think they just like Jerry's world, man. They're so comfortable coming in. The family wants to come in. It's like a family reunion, They come in to watch the game. They cheer in the stands. They go shopping. It's like watching. It's like going to the chapel or something. What's that? The Notre Dame Chapel. You know what I mean? It's like going there. You want to visit, and it's like a monument. It's like a
touchdown
monument.
Jesus.
It's like a monument. It's like a monument.
Denver comes in here and wins, and then they hadn't done squat the rest of the year.
In fact, Mickey, the guy who drew up the blueprint to stop this Cowboys offense was let go by the Denver Broncos yesterday, and so he's taking his blueprint with him elsewhere.
There's a lot of guys taking their blueprint with them.
You got that right, Spags.
Mickey, you keeping tabs on what was Black Sunday for Vic Fangio yesterday, but Black Monday today. There's been
Zimmer,
number of coaches, including Mike Zimmer of Minnesota.
We were surprised about Flores, Spags.
In Miami.
Yeah, because they kind of made a comeback, right?
Yeah, it didn't come back fast enough.
Not good enough.
Yeah.
Probably no surprises in Chicago with Matt Nagy.
No doubt.
And I'll tell you what, my vote for Coach of the Year is Rich Bisaccia.
I love that.
Yeah, I like that. I
love that. And we'll get
Did you see the stat that he's only, I think it was only he's the fourth interim head coach to get his team in the playoffs, and the other 3 were in 1961, 1952, and 1942.
Yep. I heard that. You had to go all the way back. The most recent one was 1961.
Red Grange was probably still playing then.
And for those of us who have been around Rich Bisaccia when he was here, why not him be a head coach in the NFL? This isn't the way he wanted to get the opportunity, I know, but he's making the most of that opportunity, and so great for him. And you talk about a special teams coach having to coach up the entire team, and he's done it throughout his career. He's been loved everywhere that he's coached, including here, and so great that he's making the most of the opportunity. And the Raiders get into the playoffs, and what a football game that was last night.
Did you guys watch it to the end?
I watched it.
Well, I was working, and so I was able to watch and then go do a hit on CBS 11 News and then come back and watch some more. And converting 6 fourth downs, the Chargers do, Justin Herbert. That 19-play drive that wound up with the tying touchdown on the last play of regulation. And prior to that, on 4th and 21, completing the pass and going for 2 to make it a 7-point game. All that happening in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but we got to talk about what a dumb play that really decided the entire game, and it really should never have been a factor. You just don't go for 4th down on your own 19-yard line. That was the Chargers versus the Raiders. They were backed up, I believe they were inside their 20-yard line, and they went for it on 4th down, and they ended up holding the Raiders to a field goal after that. But that ended up being the final score was, 35-32. So that field goal made the biggest difference.
Well, I'll tell you what made the biggest difference and was the dumbest thing. Why in the hell did Brandon Staley call timeout with 38 seconds to go? In overtime, the Raiders were going to take a knee, and they were both going to tie and go to the playoffs. And I think he pissed them off by calling timeout. And it was like, okay, you want to call timeout? Here we go. Get the first down, and now we're going to kick the field goal.
Because the scenario was they didn't have to do anything.
That's right.
And we both could have been in.
Yeah.
Me and you, bro. Me and you, Bill. We going to get in, brother. Yeah, you Raiders. I'm Chargers. Man, let's go. Now I got to call timeout.
And I was doing a sportscasting, so I wasn't able to watch that live. So
the speculation was already there from Chris Collinsworth. Okay, well, what are we going to do here? The clock is ticking, ticking, ticking. You sound like a boomer. Tick, 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 tick. So that's going down. And my son and I were like, they don't have to do anything. And we were just laughing at Pittsburgh fans. There were Pittsburgh fans.
Remember,
they
showed that guy.
Yeah,
they showed that guy
what the hell are Pittsburgh fans doing at the game? I mean, that was crazy. So, that could have been it. So he's going crazy because the clock's winding down. He was number 90. He had a watch jersey. And he ended up, he was going crazy. Like, these guys are going to just... They're gonna buddy it. They're gonna buddy it to the end, right? That's what he was thinking. You can almost read his lips.
So it was a great situation for Bisaccia because he's sitting there going, "Okay, we're good if we take a knee, or we're good if we kick the field goal. The only thing, or it could backfire on us if they block the field goal and return it for a touchdown."
That's it. So why try a field goal?
Yeah.
So why try a field goal? He wasn't even thinking about that. Then you call timeout? Really? I thought
and you know what?
He made 2 of the most bonehead moves that I've ever seen in the playoffs. The 4th down in your own end zone and that timeout.
I saw what Bisaccia had to say afterwards, and, he didn't say, okay, we were going to just let it run out and get the tie. He basically said we had the conversation. And so I'm thinking if they had the conversation, that was on the top of their mind, that's what they were going to do, not chance screwing something up with a blocked field goal or a bad snap or anything like that. We'll just take the tie and we go to the. But then they called timeout.
And I'm sure Tomlin, if you're Tomlin, you're Mike Tomlin, you're sitting there. I'm sure he was going crazy himself. You're sitting there. You're like, you know what? This is not purposeful. It's not nothing I should take personally because as the Raiders, you don't want to chance a blocked field goal.
Well, here's the other part of it. Put yourself in the mind of Rich Bisaccia and the Raiders right there. My understanding, and they didn't do a very good job on television explaining the scenario. Okay, once we got down to that overtime situation, I wanted to know if the Chargers win this game, who are they playing next week? If they tie this game, who are they playing next week? And vice versa for the Raiders. If they win, who are they playing?
They showed graphics.
But they didn't. They needed to.
It was a very confusing graphic, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I think I wrote it down right.
I had to run it back just to get the graphics.
And right. I think I wrote it down right. So the choice then that Bisaccia and the Raiders had to make there, if they kick the field goal, they play Cincinnati. If they take a knee, they're playing at Kansas City. And so that, in my mind, is insane. Yeah. I understand Cincinnati beat Kansas City last week. But in a playoff game, I will take my chances going to play Cincinnati rather than playing Kansas City. And if you're going to give me a chance to kick a field goal to win me a trip to Cincinnati rather than Kansas City, then I'll go ahead and kick that field goal.
I wonder if they thought about that.
Oh, I'm sure they
had to.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. It's just a matter of picking your poison. but then the decision was made for them. So let's just go with that. So now they're going to Cincinnati, correct?
That's right. They
Okay.
get the 3:30 game on Saturday. All right, it's time to take a break. Mickey, are we going to be able? No, you're on the phone. You can't do reads this week, right? Or today?
Why not? I got them.
Oh, you got them right there.
Oh,
Good.
you
We
got
will
'em.
have you.
Good.
We will have you do a read via the telephone. And I think I buried the lead on this show when we come back in just a moment.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Mick Shots.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, starting at just $20. Join now and get your fan pack, exclusive benefits, and more. Visit DallasCowboys.com and /United for details.
And to join today. Way to go, Spags.
All right. There's an echo in here.
Was there a double there?
That's right. Inside the SWBC podcast studio, a Monday edition of Mick Shots, and I did bury the lead off the top. Of course, the Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers, 3:30 Sunday afternoon on CBS 11 with Tony Romo and Jim Nantz on the call, assuming Nantz is out of COVID protocol. He missed yesterday's game in Tampa. And but where I buried the lead, Mickey, you know what today is, don't you?
I sure do.
What day?
When we
What is
talk
the day?
about the Cowboys versus the 49ers, this today, what is this? January 10th, 2022.
It rings a
Is
bell
the
for some
40-year anniversary of one of the great games in National Football League history when Everson Walls picked off 2 passes and recovered a fumble in a game.
It wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. I gave him 3 chances, Bill. I gave you ball 3 times. I think overall in that game we had 5 turnovers.
5 all. I got it called up here.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's enough to win a game. That's enough to win any game. You got 5 turnovers.
Well, let's see here. I've got 2 picks by Everson Walls, an interception by Randy White.
Randy White. They tried to screen pass.
All right, there's 3 takeaways. A fumble recovery by Everson Walls. There's 4. Larry Bethea with a fumble recovery. Mike Hegman, a fumble recovery.
What?
There's 6.
That's 6?
And then 2 offensive players, James Jones and Danny White, with fumble recoveries.
No, that's good. At least they contributed. It was nice that the offense came to the game.
So, Mickey,
how in the world do you lose a game when you get 6 takeaways?
I have no idea.
Nobody wants to
but
talk
I don't
about
know
that.
about you, Mickey, but that is what I remember from 40 years ago today. That is what I choose to remember
There you
from
go.
40 years ago
choose
today.
To remember.
Everson Walls with 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery.
I have a feeling that there was more to it because for some reason I am sitting here.
Your phone is blowing up today, huh?
Well, no, not as much as you just got to wonder, like, as you talk about the 6 turnovers, I'm getting more pissed off here, Bill. I know 6. Golly, dude. And no one talks about that? Oh, my goodness. My goodness. So that's how I'm saying
we
now
will
with no
this
Ring of
week.
Honor, no Hall of Fame. You think that has something to do with it?
No, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set the record straight, okay? And, yeah, people talk about that play, that catch, whatever, 40 years ago. But what's happening this season is Everson Walls is getting back on the map.
You're lying, bro.
And thanks to Trayvon Diggs. And by the way, I know Everson was rooting as more than anybody for Trayvon to get his 12th pick. Of course, didn't have the opportunity because he wasn't able to play.
What happened? I never did know what happened because I was in
Saturday night. Mickey, you want to fill us in on guys who didn't play on Saturday night?
Oh, boy. I'm looking for my list right now.
It was a long COVID list.
It was a long list. So
it was an updated COVID list?
Jaron Curse was going to miss with a hamstring, but he then had COVID. Darian Thompson on the practice squad probably would have been called up, but he had COVID. Then out, Tyron Smith, Micah Parsons, and Anthony Brown all out with COVID. Trayvon Diggs technically was with an illness, the same as Donovan Wilson had, and Donovan Wilson was able to play. And Tony Pollard was out with a foot. So the Cowboys actually activated Blake Jarwin, by the way, off of IR.
Wow. And he had a catch for 6 yards.
And he had a catch.
My dude.
Yes. So he was able to play. So yeah, the Cowboys had quite a few players out also. I know it wasn't to the extent that Philadelphia had, since they decided to sit their entire defense and the majority of their offense. But when you have both of your starting corners out, your best defensive player, Micah Parsons, out. It certainly makes somewhat of a difference, but a lot of guys got to play, and maybe it turns out that that's a good thing.
Well, I wanted to ask you this. Have you heard any, I wouldn't say apologies, but could you hear people eating a little bit of crow in regards to the Cowboys taking all these efforts to win this game? You know, they played this game as if they had to win it because they knew that there was a chance that they could improve their position. And it seems like that all played out well because they did go from 4 to 3. And so would you think, and I know what the answer is going to be, don't you think that effort was worth it considering the outcome from yesterday?
Well, Everson, obviously the percentages were against him to get the 2nd seed, but they came within 1 game out of the 3 of getting there.
Yeah.
Had Tampa Bay not won, the Cowboys would have been the 2nd seed because they got the other 2 things to happen. The Rams got beat and Arizona got beat, and they won, by the way. So you know what? The irony of this whole thing is we played 17 games. If the Cowboys had been better in the final 124 of the first game, they would have been the 2nd seed.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Because they got beat by Tampa Bay on a walk-off field goal. Mm-hmm. And who knows? Now, this one I understand, right? Because Tampa Bay and the Packers ended up tying, but the Packers just took the foot off the gas the second half, and they got beat by Detroit, right? Well, if that had happened and all this had happened and the Cowboys had won that opener, they're the 1st seed in the NFC.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers would have played the entire game.
I know. That's what I said.
That's the difference. But even with that, the complaints were, why are we playing Dak? And everybody's talking about he could get hurt. And I'm like, guys, it's football. They always talk about somebody could get hurt. Yeah, it's freaking football. So we played Dak. Everyone was kind of complaining. But then Aaron Rodgers goes out and plays in what I thought was a pretty meaningless game for them. So what's the I don't understand what's the reason for playing Aaron Rodgers at all in that game? To me, that was a much bigger risk versus reward than the Cowboys' risk versus reward.
Mahomes played for Kansas City.
Yeah.
Okay.
But did they have a chance to improve?
Could have if Tennessee had lost to Houston.
But see, I give that. I can take that.
But and they would have had a first-round bye.
See,
which is
I can take that. That's worth it. That's worth
right.
the risk.
Right.
But
now the chances of Houston beating Tennessee. Now Houston came back and made it a very close game. It was 28-25 final.
Sure did.
But they were about as remote as Carolina beating Tampa.
That's cool. That's true.
And I think if Andy Reid had decided that, okay, it's not worth the risk, no one would have criticized him. Mahomes would have sat, whatever. I think also that played a factor in this, Mickey, especially when you look at the Cowboys' offense, is in as long a season as it is and as disjointed as things have been up until the last month of the season as far as practice time, and they're just not on the practice field that much. I think they looked at this game and the Washington game, which was basically against their JV, as practice opportunities and getting reps on the practice field to get them ready to go, especially since you're working in Cedric Wilson more in this first team offense too.
No, absolutely, and I said it last week. If you say, okay, we're not going to play our guys, then you just ruined a week of practice.
Yes, you
right?
did. Yes, you
because
did.
then those guys, even if they're out there, they're not out there. And so, yeah, you got 2 good weeks of practice in. You didn't have to go hard, but you did get the work in, and you did keep guys' attention. And I think, that's almost like, when colleges say, well, the bowl game doesn't really mean anything. Oh, no, what it means is you get 2 weeks of practice with guys that maybe are going to play the next year, not so much in that bowl game. And that's the key thing for the colleges to get in a bowl game, is to get another couple of weeks of practice in. And so the Cowboys were able to achieve that, and I think we'll see, but it sure can't hurt, right? It could pay off.
We improved our position. I mean, you've gone from 4 to 3. It's worth it. I don't know. That's what I think.
And I think they probably feel like they're going to play better next week because of what they did on Saturday night.
They better.
And and I think probably what was maybe alarming to them, if they were feeling good about themselves after a run in December where they won 4 straight games over New Orleans, Washington, the Giants, and Washington again. The Arizona game was an eye-opener for them that, okay, maybe we aren't where we thought we were offensively, and so we need more work before we start the playoffs.
Good point.
And you know what? Mark this down. Note to self. Let's see how Philadelphia does this weekend.
After
they
resting
rested
everybody.
The whole team.
Yep.
And I ain't buying that they had all those guys still out with COVID. That was BS.
You get them, Spags. You're the reporter. Get that bloodhound reporting out there, baby, and tell us what's happening.
Hey, Kelsey played. He looked good when he played.
Yeah, that first snap, right? And then he sprinted off the field.
They were calling it out on TV. There he goes, as that one play.
You could tell he was feeling the after effects of his bout with COVID.
Well, the funny thing was then the center got hurt.
Yeah,
and they showed him standing on the sideline looking like, hell no.
Hey, where you guys go? He was looking
there.
around like, who's behind me? Yeah.
Next up.
Y'all better go get him.
Next man up. All right, we continue with more Mick Shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
All right. Your favorite WWE superstars return to AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania on Saturday, April 2nd, and Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. Yeah, we get it. Why'd they have to put that on? Get your tickets to the most stupendous 2-night WrestleMania in history. Visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. I hope I read the right one.
You did, and I was tracking you. You got it word for word.
There you go, my brother.
All right, so as we ran down earlier in the show, the comings and goings, they're the goings today around the NFL. Matt Nagy lost his job in Chicago. Brian Flores in Miami.
Surprise.
And Dave Gettleman is out as the general manager with the Giants. Mike Zimmer with the Minnesota Vikings. And yesterday it was Vic Fangio with the Denver Broncos. So we're at 4 right now. Am I got that right? And then, of course, as we talked about, the other opening would have been with the Raiders. With Gruden gone at midseason, and it looks like Bisaccia might have earned that position full-time. We'll see what happens once they play in the playoffs.
He looked real cool and calm under pressure because that was an exciting game. I mean, such emotional impact and everything. And he was just stone-faced, you know what I mean, the whole time. But yet you could see that he was interested and taking care of business. I like the style.
So you could be a stone-faced. You could be a stone-faced head coach without running up and down the sideline and yelling and screaming when you're the head coach.
You're right, but you can see it in his eyes. Everything about his eyes.
He didn't run down into the end zone to congratulate the guy with the touchdown,
that
right?
was really interesting right there.
Is that not what was that?
Well, it's not the NCAA basketball, Spags. He can leave the coaching box and
there's no coaching box.
He can do that. He can do that.
Yeah, but the guys shoot him back.
Hey, Coach, can you get your butt back over there?
Another coaching decision.
And what about Jacksonville?
And that's right. Jacksonville is open also. That's right. And how about Indianapolis? Oh, my goodness.
How embarrassing is that?
I've been watching Hard Knocks in season.
Oh, that's right.
I've been watching Hard Knocks in season. They have put everything on my boy Carson Wentz. They can say, okay, we can't just keep running the ball. We got to be able to pass it. And we want him to earn it. And they tried to make him earn it, and he couldn't do it.
Wow.
They put the ball in his hands, Bill, the last 2 games, and he blew it.
And I think Indianapolis, if I read it right, 0-8 for their last 8 at Jacksonville. Maybe 0-9 now. Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, I have no idea. But Jacksonville had some pretty good teams several years ago. But it's Jacksonville.
And it wasn't just a loss. It was epic. It was an epic loss.
Yeah, they were getting blown
11 to 29.
It was 26-11.
26-11.
They were up 23-3 on them for a long time.
That's your 26 points there, Spags.
So I'm sitting there watching the Steelers-Ravens game, and okay, they're tracking what's going on in Indianapolis because if Indianapolis loses, the door is open. That's the main thing that had to happen. For Pittsburgh, they had to have Jacksonville beat Indianapolis and not have a tie And so, I mean, a Hollywood scriptwriter can't write this stuff, and people would not believe. I mean, it was just, and we're sitting there watching the game on last night after Pittsburgh wins. Now they're in position. All they got to do is have either the Raiders or Chargers win, and the Raiders were up 26-14. And I was like, okay, it's not going to be a tie. It's a 12-point lead. But as soon as the Raiders kicked a field goal to make it 29-14, I said, we're going to have a tie.
Really?
You know it's going to. So there's less than 5 minutes left of the game, and sure enough, here comes Herbert back, and then they tie it up.
Williams.
And then it goes all the way to overtime. And how about the fans in Pittsburgh watching that game and the players in Pittsburgh watching that game?
Fan at the game in the Pittsburgh jersey.
The Pittsburgh coaches and players are sitting there going,
someone should do a documentary about, have a little pictorial of some type of a film thing going, clips of all the different reactions and the drama that led up to that point, strictly from Pittsburgh fans.
Right. And I can't believe NBC did not have a camera somewhere in Pittsburgh.
In Mike Tomlin's house.
Yeah, someplace.
Somebody at Ben Roethlisberger's house.
Because they weren't expecting anything like this.
But I mean,
what it reminded me of. If you remember the 1990 season, Everson was gone then. But the Cowboys
I was going to win the
chance,
Super Bowl. Tell me about what happened back here.
The Cowboys had a chance to get into the playoffs in the final Monday night game of the season, right?
Yep.
And they were 7-9. And I'm trying to remember what they needed, but the final game of the year was the Saints and the Rams. And it went down to a walk-off field goal to eliminate them.
And, Mickey, I remember we had a camera. I was working for Channel 5 at the time. We had a camera at the Cowboy Cafe in Valley Ranch. That's right.
That's right, baby.
That's where Michael
Best Coast Sports Cafe in Cowboys history.
Cowboys players were hanging out there because we're going to get their immediate reaction, We go ahead.
No, and I was there, too, by the way. And I think it was the Rams kicked the field goal to basically eliminate the Cowboys. I think that's the way it went, or vice versa. I don't remember.
Wait. We're missing a narrative. Didn't Babe stink up the joint to get the Cowboys to win or something like that?
Do what?
They played the Falcons. Didn't Babe stink up the joint against the Falcons?
Oh, they all stunk. No, they all stunk.
What was the? But wait, the game was played the day before.
They needed to win one more game, and they got beat. Troy got hurt in Game 15 against Philadelphia, and Babe had to come in, and they ended up losing the game. And then Babe had to start the final game of the regular season. It was raining. It was cold in Atlanta. This was before they had an indoor stadium. Nobody wanted to play in that game.
So they were eliminated by the time that game was played.
No. Whoever ended up winning that last game in the final seconds on Monday night, had they lost, the Cowboys were in at 7-9.
So the fact that they didn't go 8-8, what was Jimmy's deal? I mean, I'm surprised that he didn't blow up. I mean, you never talk about that. He blows up after so many insignificant moments. That was a significant moment to where you go down and you just kind of crap the bed, I guess, for lack of a better term. When you needed that game.
That's why there was a trade for Steve Berline the next year.
There you go.
It was the Saints beat the Rams 20-17 in that Monday night game.
Okay, that's what happened. Yeah. Had the Saints lost, the Cowboys were going to the playoffs at 7-9. So in this one, they didn't settle the last playoff spot until the last second of the last game of the year, which is rather amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that the NFL was patting itself on the back of having a 17th game, 18-week season, because it all played out exactly like they wanted it to.
So, Mr. TV, why did the Cowboys ended up at the second game on Sunday on CBS?
Because what I'm thinking is, okay, let me get my schedule here.
So we're not dealing with facts here, Spags. Total speculation, just so you can tell by the way it started off.
Kansas City's got the Sunday night game. All right, so there was a pecking order on, and I'm not sure who had first pick of all the networks on which games they want. And like the networks that have paid the most money, meaning NBC, and then CBS and Fox, they are going to get the first picks. And they split it up between the this round and the divisional playoff round, and then who gets that either the prime time spot. Late afternoon on Sunday is considered a prime time spot.
Not the Sunday night?
Sunday night is number one on the list.
Okay, there you go.
I'm assuming number 2 on the list would be the Sunday afternoon late. 3 is Saturday night, in my opinion, and then you get the afternoon, the early games on each on Saturday and Sunday, and then the Monday night game. When I saw the Arizona Rams matchup, and I think it's a great matchup, I immediately said, "There's your Monday night game right there."
Interesting.
And I think you look at it. So let's say NBC had the first pick, and they decided to take Mahomes. They took the Kansas City. He's playing Sunday night, and I'm assuming CBS had the second pick and took the Cowboys for that late afternoon spot, and then they also got Saturday night. I'm going to assume next week it'll flip. Fox will have the late afternoon on Sunday and maybe the Saturday night game.
And no games butting
But
heads.
there was speculation that the Cowboys were going to be playing on Monday night. I
think the Cowboys thought they were playing on Monday night.
In my opinion, and just following it in the TV business and assuming that ESPN is not going to get a top pick because they haven't paid the same amount of money that the other networks have paid, that they were not going to get the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys are going to get picked first or second out of all the teams.
But you said that's the best night, though.
No, Monday night's not the best.
It's not the best?
No. Sunday night's the best night.
Yeah.
And that's why the primary game years ago moved from Monday night to Sunday night. Once the league decided we're going to take advantage.
Monday night used to be the night, man.
Right, and a lot of that has to do with just TV programming in general. It's not as strong as TV shows aren't as good as what they used to be, and sports programming has risen to the top, and the NFL has risen so much to the top. I mean, you look at any week, and the NFL it can be a Sunday afternoon noon game, and it blows away
on the team,
anything that's produced by the networks at any time during the rest of the week. So,
how did Fox only get one game?
Do they not have the early game on Saturday?
I didn't think so. I thought when I saw that.
Do any games butt heads? That's what I want. They don't have enough. They don't have so many to where we're butting heads, do they?
Let's see. Let me look up
that would be
Saturday real quick here. No, that's right. NBC's got the early game. So this week, NBC got the Saturday afternoon and the Sunday night, while CBS has late Sunday afternoon, the Cowboy game, plus they got Saturday night. What's going to happen, Mickey, next week, Fox is going to get a couple of games.
Oh, okay.
And CBS will probably just get one.
So ABC got...
which is ESPN, really.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
So,
that's what I meant. Yep. Okay.
Right.
All right, that clears that up for me because I was shocked that Fox only got one game.
I'm surprised, too. I just assumed that they had the early game on Saturday, but you're right, it's an NBC game. So NBC has paid a lot of money. So...
Who you got tonight, guys?
So they can.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, Alabama, Georgia, and by the way, this is why college football's got to go to a tournament. No one even thinks about these games until the day of the game because the NFL is so dominant. Man. I haven't even thought about the national championship game all week.
Yesterday was so exciting. You had 3 overtime games. So, it's not that your football's out, but it just took priority.
But it's also it's like a reality TV show, and you build up storylines as it goes on. That's why March Madness in college basketball is so great. It's over a whole month-long period.
It's a storyline.
And college football has got to understand, from a TV standpoint, it's like a reality TV show, and you have to have a build-up, and that's why you have to have at least an 8-team tournament.
And they've got to be done before the NFL
That's
playoffs.
right. I think now, especially with online learning and stuff, you can do it in December, and finish it New Year's Day. All right, so Alabama, Georgia. Man, when I saw that Georgia team for the first time, oh my goodness, that defense. They have 5 or 6 guys on that defense, and I was like, who is that guy? Who is that guy?
Like number 99?
And so I'd start looking him up. And he was the number 1 defensive tackle recruit in the country.
School, right?
And this guy was the top inside linebacker recruit. And this guy, all right, when
having said all of that,
but when Georgia lines up on offense, before they even run a play, I want you to just look at number 0. Okay, number 0, who's going to line up in the slot. He's their second tight end. Their first tight end is a freshman. He's great. Okay, this guy is, and sure enough,
the second tight end.
The second tight end. I mean, he is his body. He is a specimen, and he
can play,
and he can. He's a little raw, but NFL scouts are going to be drooling over this guy. And I looked him up. What was he, Mickey? He was the number 1 athlete in the country, recruited out of Las Vegas.
Wait. So what's Alabama working with then? They kicked their butts in the SEC championship game.
Say all that, Alabama's going to win the game.
There you go. I have Georgia. I do have Georgia.
I think
Georgia's going to figure it out this time, and it's going to come from the quarterback. He better make it happen.
And that's why, I'm hoping Georgia wins. But that's
his name's Bennett, right?
Yeah. But
and he's going up against Bryce Young.
What was that first name?
Stetson.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett.
Great name.
Yeah.
Bryce Young is going to do all he's going to do what he has to do, but Stetson is going to have to outlast him.
Bennett. Sounds like a frat boy from Highland Park.
I was going to say it sounded like my bank president.
I like that, guys. That's funny.
I just want to know how old number 99 is at Georgia, the guy that's 360 pounds. That's
360.
All. 360.
Georgia's winning. What about you, Spags? What you got?
You know what? I'm going against the grain. I think Georgia wins this thing.
Yeah, me too.
Well, since I was going to pick Georgia.
Now you're going to go Alabama, right?
Now, since y'all picked Georgia, I'm going to go Alabama. And the guy won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, he's the dude now.
Yeah.
But Bennett has to.
Apparently
if he gets the ball last, he has to perform.
And out of all those defensive players that have come out of Alabama, apparently the one they got this year, the best player, is the best one of the whole bunch.
Who was that?
Will Anderson. I can't remember his name.
Will Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I don't remember these names, guys.
He's awfully good. He's Michael Parsons.
There you go. All right. And is he draft eligible?
That part I don't
think he
know.
may be.
I think he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, I think he's a year away. Anyway, and again, I haven't started my big green notebook. That's for after the Cowboys season, and that's when.
Hey, by the way, if anybody needs to know anything more about Saban, SI Online's got a great story about Saban. Kirby Smart, when he used to work for him, not only at LSU but at Alabama too, I guess. And part of the story is about the Saban basketball games in the off season. And the funny thing is they was kind of a pickup game, but when Saban got there, he got to choose who was on his team each time. Right? He got first dibs. The rest of you guys are on the other team.
Which is kind of like college recruiting.
Right, yeah, exactly. And they would always win, right? And he was talking about how some young guy got there. I forgot which. I might have been at LSU, and he saw him play the first time, and he goes, "Okay, that guy's on my team, right?" And they would always win, and it was really competitive. And,
Does Nick have game?
Do what now?
Does Nick have game?
Evidently, he did until he had his hip surgery.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
There you go, Bill.
I lost my game. All right.
No.
Yeah. All right. That does it for this edition of Mick Shots. Mickey, appreciate it from Parts Elsewhere, Everson. And we will see you again tomorrow right here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?